Good morning, Group D Delta. Thank you very much for your presentation. So I've had a chance to take a look at it, and I have some feedback for you. I'm going to start off by saying it's very good, very limited comment from me on this one. So I'll just give back some initial feedback. Hopefully, you can take some suggestions or not, and then I will make open the section available for you to post it up in the Group 4 project section, as well as remind you that next week when you submit your instead of submitting the paper, you have to submit the self and peer group evaluation instead for all the members in your group. Overall, it's very good. So my first comment is, who are stakeholders? Okay, very good. Typically, I always get concerned when you start off with the definition of this one because people always get stuck in the mind that stakeholders are people that are primarily investors. So I appreciate your last sentence. I would just suggest maybe that you type something, a bullet point, just to say, or to introduce them to say, they're not always people associated with businesses. Because your two references here, this Wikipedia link and the businessdirectory.com, instantly talk about stakeholders being primarily associated with board of trustees or corporations or something like that. And gives like limited effect since you don't have another item backing this up to explain that there could be other people with social obligations in an organization. It could be in an event or to complete a task as well. You give several examples, um, pretty much similar examples I've given before, but I'm not sure why they are examples. That's the only thing I can say here. They're just kind of they're variety of people. They look good, but they still kind of look a lot like business. And you just put in teachers and parents and students. Um, eh, it's kind of limited, so it doesn't really say why all these people are stakeholders. Next, you get another. See here, you define it a little bit better. Responsible of responsibilities of local communities and civil societies, shareholders, customers, employers, vendors. Again, these four are very corporate. This one kind of comes in a little bit, but I like this sample set a little bit better. Not how you did this sample set. So you see how you give a little bit more description. So that's missing from here. So if you're going to stick with that, and I see you did for some of them. Let's see, do you do it for more? You do. Okay, I take it back. You gave simple examples that way. You may just kind of opt not to have this slide. It doesn't necessarily help or hurt. This is good. Um, it's very corporate based. It's good to give them an image and a model. So I definitely like that type of feedback. I just sometimes when I feel like you all's presentations could just really use some verbal commentary behind it as opposed to just plain um, PowerPoint. And I'm going to tell you, you all could put a little small audio file associated with each of the slides. So that's something you maybe consider for some of your future presentations if you continue to do projects online. I'll leave it at that for now. This is good. Um, when you talk about general topics like that, I typically like to give examples of who these stakeholders would be. So this could be from patients to the doctors to medical fields to pharmacy fields, the technicians. You can be more specific by saying nurses or research scientists trying to find cures. Just to give people samples. I like it better when you give topics and then give different examples of who stakeholders could be in each of those examples and why they are stakeholders, which is then what you immediately start going to do. Very good. Um, but again, you kind of limit it. Patients, employers, payers, providers. I it's a good business. Like I said, your presentation for the most part was good. I think that just some bits and pieces here that I could explain and make it flow a little bit better. If you're going to use three topics, this is your third topic now. You were talking about business, you did healthcare, um, then you did education. So on the business, healthcare, and education, you had examples, but they just wasn't consistent from slide to slide. How you showed examples of each situation of each of the stakeholders and why they're stakeholders. So that made um, warrant a little cleaning up. See how you did for healthcare? You said this is healthcare, stakeholders in healthcare. Then you gave some examples. Then you said, here's business, and a few stakeholders in business. An education stakeholder, a stakeholder of influence programs and products. They allow administrators to plan budgets. Education thinking. So I don't know. Maybe I'm being too picky or not. Um, and if this is your opinion on that, then this is your opinion on that. I think that, like I said, overall it's good. It's good. I didn't have major complaints. Just a little bit of formatting, and just some calls for comments for better flow. So the biggest challenge I really have was just the graphic that you use to talk about how you communicate, how stakeholders communicate, and how you receive communication and the recommendations from stakeholders. I think a better slide probably would have been, or at least something else different, is how to prioritize stakeholders' input. I think that's maybe where you were trying to go. I oftentimes try to include that into the stakeholder presentation, but overall, I can foresee me using this again in the future for other classes. So this is good. Um, it wouldn't hurt to have some audio to this presentation. I may want you all to really consider doing that in the future. That's it for right now. Good luck. You can repost this once you decide to make any edits, if at all. And good luck with week 11. Have a great one. Bye.